I really haven't embraced my season. Like, it's Gemini season right now, and I haven't embraced it.
I think you have.
You're right. I have. I've been a total psychopath.
That's the most Gemini thing I've ever heard you say. All right. Hello. Welcome back. This is the podcast, Our 3 Cents. We're so happy to have you back here and listening. So let's just get it started. I'm Laura.
I'm Molly.
I'm Bailey. 2 things. Laura, you just almost forgot for us to say our names, didn't you?
No, I thought there was something else that came after, but I wasn't.
Oh, okay.
I don't know what episode we're on, so I wasn't going to say it.
Okay, you don't, they'll figure it out. 2, Molly, again, and I pointed at you. I pointed at you.
Sorry, I was, Warby Parker is now taking insurance, so I was...
You know what's great about being on a podcast? You don't have to check your phone while we're in the middle of the podcast.
It's behind my Skype
Ignore
right now.
it.
Yeah, exactly. Full screen your Skype.
Lord Jesus. Okay.
Oh.
My phone is on silent, but in a
Welcome back. Did you miss us? This is how we are. This is how we live. Thank you for putting up with us. Today we have some.
Ooh, can I tell a story?
Yes.
I'm sorry, no. I was just going to tell a story. We'll call it Bailey Out in the World.
Oh, a rarity.
A rarity, yeah.
Yeah.
So I went to a Toys R Us this weekend because I wanted to see what sweet deals they had, and they were only open for 13 more days. And this was on Saturday, so they're only open for 11 more days at this point. Yeah, so not a lot of stock left.
Really?
No, they did not have a lot of stuff left.
Did you
they
see
had
that
the
they're
entire
selling, like, everything? Like their phones and their shopping carts and the cash registers?
No, I didn't.
Yeah, they're selling everything. That's how bankrupt this company is. Isn't that sad?
I know, that's
like if
sad,
you went up and asked for their cash
That's
register, they have a
insane.
binder that they look through and it has a price.
Yes. Yeah, they had the, like...
How do you go bankrupt?
You spend all your money.
Bankruptcy! That's how, Molly.
But yeah, so we went in, and it was really sad and desolate. I just picked up a
so
couple
sad.
things that were like cheap toys anyway, and they were like half off.
What'd you get?
What did you need these toys for exactly?
I like
It's
toys.
Bailey.
It's me. I got a little Animal Crossing dog, and then I got another thing that is for Laura, and I don't know if one of these things will go for her, so it's going to be for Molly, because I know Molly likes this thing.
What is it?
But anyway, very cheap
when did
small
we get 'em?
toys. I don't know. That's not the point, guys. We're podcasting right now. Let me tell the story. But yeah, so I knew one of these things was going to be like $2. I didn't even really check the price for the other one. But I guess I'd forgotten how much everything was on sale, because when I got to the cash register and she told me my price was like $4.80, I almost laughed in her face because it was so cheap. But I didn't. But then, remember how I said that the store was only going to be open for 13 more days? As we were leaving, she said, "Come see us again sometime." When, lady? When?
In the next 13 days.
In the next less than 2 weeks.
Where did you go? Which Toys R Us did you go to?
The one in Tupelo.
Oh, okay. Because I was like, I want to go, but I'm not going to be in Tupelo anytime soon, or
Yeah.
I'm not making a special trip to go to Toys R Us.
Yeah, I think the Memphis one is okay for a little while, but that one is shutting down.
Wonder if I can convince
But-
Sam to go to Toys R Us.
Yeah, it was not a pretty sight. It was very empty, way
sad.
emptier than I expected. I mean, they still had some stuff, like some Legos, a bunch of like Nerf bullets.
I'll buy Sam a
But-
Nerf gun. He'd like a Nerf.
Yeah. Like, literally, their sign said everything was 50 to 70% off, so not a pretty sight. Pretty sad.
That's sad.
Pretty sad.
You know.
Wow.
So, how was everybody else's weekend?
I'm still unemployed.
I got really sunburned. My lip is peeling, and I was picking at it today, and I literally pulled like half of my lip
Don't.
off. It was disgusting.
Don't.
That's
Don't.
gross. You really shouldn't pick your lips.
I
I heard
help it.
from a doctor that it's fine if you pick, like if you peel the rest of your skin when it's sunburned, but it's really bad to pick your lips. That's how you get infections in your lips.
You know what I heard from a doctor?
What?
That you should wear sunscreen.
Yeah, that also.
I did wear sunscreen.
You did not wear it specially made for your face, and I'm calling you out now, even
Or
though I
your
just
lips.
told
You
you
know
to do
they
this
make
earlier.
SPF chapstick.
I know, I can't find
They
it.
do.
Go buy some.
In all of the city of Atlanta, you can't find any lipstick chapstick.
I haven't looked very hard.
Or sunscreen, whatever.
chapstick.
There we go. That's what I believe. That you just didn't look. Did you go to Target? I know Target has it. And you love Target.
I think I looked at
They
Target because I know beeswax. Is that what it is?
Burt's Bees.
Yeah, Burt's Bees.
Burt's Bees. Yes, I know they have some, but I've yet to find it.
Mm-hmm.
Carmex
Target sponsor this podcast
Target,
and help Molly
Okay, I'll go look at Target.
and send us some sunscreen. Ask them if they'll sponsor us while you're there.
I need to get makeup, so I'll go to Target.
Some makeup has SPF too.
I do not wear makeup while I play Frisbee.
Isn't that gross? I don't
That's
get
smart.
why people do that. Like, Elf came out with... I love Elf, so Elf can sponsor us also. But Elf came out with makeup especially formulated for the gym. And I'm very uncomfortable.
Waste of time.
That's awful.
Waste of time, waste of money.
Like, it's like... I don't know if it's face makeup, like foundation or not, but I know they have mascara, a face primer...
Like
mascara in case you're crying while you're doing
wearing
those
mascara
squats.
Isn't the end of the world because it's not gonna like make you break out, or clog your pores.
Yeah, but like I don't know.
But still,
if they have
it's
face makeup.
unnecessary. Like if you can't,
I just think wearing makeup to the gym. If you like, I don't know, like there's some places
Maybe
where you
it's
don't
for if you have
need-
to go somewhere after, but they
But
have
like the
bathrooms
rest
at
of your
gyms.
body is sweaty and gross.
Yeah, no, I get it. I agree. But I don't wear makeup or go to the gym, so really they just lost me already.
You were not their target market.
I'm not in their demographic.
It's literally called workout ready.
You know what's workout ready? Just going to the gym.
Okay,
we're getting
back
off
to topic. So our first topic is modesty. What?
Okay. What is it? Does it exist?
What is it?
Where is it?
Is there a point? Is there a reason? Time and place? What are our opinions?
Modesty is a tricky topic, if you ask me.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Molly, tell us why.
God,
I would like to give a disclaimer that we all grew up in Mississippi. We all grew up in conservative households. We would all have defined ourselves as Christian women when we were younger, but I bet we're about to have some differing opinions on the modesty
Are we?
track.
I think so.
I think slightly.
I don't think we're going to have any.
different.
I don't think we're going to have any opinions that surprise me, I guess I should say.
No, not surprised, just like, I think we're about to go deeper and deeper as each of us talk into the modesty spectrum.
Then maybe I should go first because I don't think mine's that deep.
Let's define modesty so I don't say the wrong thing.
Okay.
Okay, let me look it up real quick.
Okay. I thought we were just going to spitball from
No
our head.
fear.
No, I know. I like an official definition. I approve.
Modesty. It's a noun, the quality or state of
Thanks.
being unassuming or moderate in the estimation of one's abilities. Behavior, manner,
okay.
Behavior, manner, or appearance intended to avoid impropriety
Mm-hmm.
or indecency. Impropriety.
Impropriety.
Thank you. Or indecency. The quality of being relatively moderate, limited, or small in amount, rate, or level. I think for the sake of this podcast and our listeners, we should just dwindle that down to clothing.
Yes, because that was a little broad.
That's what we were all thinking of. So clothing,
Yes.
what we think of modest, in quotations, clothing, why it's a thing, our opinions on it.
Bodily modesty.
That sounds dirty. But yeah. Yeah.
Well.
An outward appearance of modesty.
Yes.
I've decided I don't want to go first. I don't want to say the wrong thing, so somebody else go first.
Bailey?
I feel while there may be societally and culturally ingrained modesty in my brain, I am uncomfortable with my body and showing a lot of it, so I just enjoy dressing modestly.
But what is dressing modestly to you? What is modest to you and what is immodest?
That's a good idea.
Not based on what you wear, based on if Molly walked around in it. Or somebody else of your body stature. If you saw somebody else, would you think that's immodest? Just based on your first thought because of how you were raised.
its amount of skin. A lot of people say that the pants or skirts or dress, whatever, have to come down to the knee. I think that's excessive. I think like mid-thigh is fine enough. Just so you're not showing too close to the buttocks for your personal body, you know, however your body is length. And then top-wise, maybe a little cleavage is okay, but not a lot. And then I think shoulders are fine. I don't think showing shoulders is like immodest. I don't think it should be. Like even this is me speaking very generally. I don't think
So are
showing
you
shoulders.
saying that what you just classified as immodest is wrong? Or are you just saying that's what society and that's what you were raised to believe was classified as immodest?
I think that there are certain functions where modesty should be not preserved, but kind of like put more in the forefront of your mind than other places. I'm trying to think of a specific one. And like the only one coming to mind is like funerals, church. Things that aren't, the goal is not to have fun.
Okay.
Kind of, I think is where I'm at. Like, I don't know. I can't think of specific things.
All right, Molly, what's your take?
Okay, my first thought to come to mind, and like this is the way I was raised, is not like.
Well, I've always heard that what you think first is how you were raised and brought up and what you learned. What you do and what you think second is what you've taught yourself. So, we'll let you think first.
Yeah, I've heard that too. It's that modesty is not dressing appropriately so you don't give guys the wrong idea. That is...
Oh, yeah, that's a whole factor of it, too.
Yeah.
Oh, and Laura's making a face. Laura liked what Molly just said.
That's my first thought, because I'll, like, find myself, like, looking on Instagram or Twitter or whatever and, like, seeing these girls, like, dressed in, like, next to nothing. And I'll, like, judge them for how little they're wearing. But then immediately afterwards, I'm like, not always immediately afterwards. Sometimes I don't like the girls. But usually
Molly, you're showing you're prejudiced.
like, no, like every girl is allowed to dress the way that they want to. Like, girls shouldn't feel scared to show off their bodies in any way that they want to. Then again, where it gets tricky, and this is when I turn into a bitch, but not all girls
You've done
should
pretty
be
well so far.
showing off their bodies the way that they do. I am one of them.
Oh, well now what do you mean by that?
Like, girls wearing, like, super tight, like, tube tops, and, like, underwear
You can wear a tube
jeans.
top if you want to wear a tube top.
What?
You can wear a tube top if you want to wear a tube top.
But you could.
Yeah.
I don't think I could pull it off.
No. You could. Like, you legitimately could wear a tube top and nothing's wrong with it. Is that what you're saying, or do you think it's based on body type? Like, is modesty based on body? Is a part of modesty based on body type?
Yeah, I think so. I think that's the way society views it, and it's really hard for me not to view it that way. Like, again, that's always...
So you're saying that there are different modesty standards for each body type?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. And I mean, I would never say anything to a girl or a guy for whatever they're wearing, because I do think everybody should be able to wear whatever they want.
You would just say it to a different girl or a guy.
What do you mean?
I was saying you would talk behind their back.
Yeah. I did it yesterday.
Like you're doing, like you're doing now. Oh, okay. Or yesterday.
This girl was wearing this, like, halter top and these, like, cut-off blue jean shorts and cowboy boots at an ultimate frisbee game. And I was like, I, like, leaned over to my friend and I was like, did you just see that? And he was like, well, yeah, what about it? I was like, look at the way that she's dressed. And I just thought it was odd. It was an odd outfit for where we
Yeah, I
were.
will say
If we
cowboy boots for ultimate frisbee wouldn't be what I
Was she
would describe
playing,
as.
or was she?
No, she was, I don't know what she was doing. Like if we were at a like
Oh, if she was just
if we were at a
watching, then
rodeo or like a country concert, then
Well,
I
that
would
doesn't
be
have to
like,
do with
she's
modesty.
wearing
That
the
just
right
has to do with time and
outfit.
place.
I mean, but like this was such a strange outfit for an ultimate frisbee tournament.
But that's less to do with modesty and more to do with time and place,
I guess,
or
yeah.
function of your outfit,
But
right?
but I mean, yeah, like if I saw a girl wearing like a tube top and like super short shorts at a bar, I'd be like, why is she wearing that? I just think girls dress that way to
dig deeper.
attract guys, and I used to dress that way too. I just don't think it's necessary. Like, I'm going out to a bar this weekend, and I'm going to wear this romper that covers everything, and I'm still gonna look cute.
My turn.
So you...
No, my turn. So,
Go ahead.
I was raised in a very conservative denomination of the Christian faith. And since birth, I was told short sleeves was like cutting it close. You were safer with quarter length sleeve or long sleeves. Dresses that did not come to below your knee, like where your below your kneecap stops, were wrong. There was no like where your fingers touch or anything. High heels were considered immodest. Flats were modest. There was no showing of your midsection. There was no showing of your shoulders. Cleavage was a no-go. So when I was in elementary school, I started getting boobs. I had a very athletic... My mom was very athletic.
As many do.
Yes. My mom was very athletic, and my dad was skinny. So my body type was predetermined to be athletic. I didn't get the athletic build that my mom had because I wasn't into the sports that she was. So my body became bigger than hers at my age because I wasn't as active as she was. So I got truly adult-sized breasts by the time I was in middle school. And my body was shaped differently than a lot of my friends. And I was shorter than both my parents were at my age. And my body was just different than them. So my mom would buy me clothes that were fine for her. And when I put them on, they fell differently than what she had imagined or what we saw on the mannequin, because my waist was a certain size and my chest was a certain size. But when you actually put it on, it didn't make sense. So there were skirts that I would buy that should have been fine, but weren't. And there were shirts that I would buy that should have been fine, but they weren't. And so I would go to church, and grown women in my church would come up to me and tell me that I had to go sit on the back row, or I had to go change, or I had to go put on something else because I was immodest. And the blame was never put on, or the reasoning was never put on anything but the wandering eyes of the men and the boys of the congregation. Because in my church, all of the youth sat on the front, like, couple rows, and I was told, like, a handful of times that what I was wearing was not acceptable to be on the front row. And if you had seen me, you probably wouldn't have said I was immodest. But in that church, my body type, because the body type of every single other person in the church was Bailey, I was immodest because I was wearing shirts that were not oversized and didn't come up to my neck. And no, they weren't like deep V's down to my belly button, but they were like, it was shirts that you could tell that I was a woman and that I was developing faster than other girls in the youth group. And that just wasn't okay because I was dressing to them promiscuously. I couldn't wear Nike shorts. I couldn't wear tank tops. I couldn't wear, like when we went to camp, like church camp, and I had to wear sweatpants. I couldn't wear leggings. I've worn extra larges since I was in middle school, like t-shirts, because you couldn't tell that I had boobs when I wore extra larges. So that was the modesty that I was put up with. The girls that I saw in my church and the girls that I saw that were acceptable in the eye of the people who were telling me I was immodest were wearing potato sacks, because that's how you distracted the male gaze. And that was what it was mostly about to these women who would come up to me and say, you're doing this wrong, and you're sinning, so strike one. You're also making someone else in the congregation to sin, strike two.
Strike two.
So there were so many, like, things mounting. And I think, do you need something? Would you like to go outside?
He just thinks this story is really sad and unfair for little Laura.
Yeah, real quick, can I just say, when I was saying, like, modesty depends on the body type, I wasn't, like, saying, like, how it looks differently on somebody else. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not saying, like, how, like, Laura wearing, like, a V-neck dress, like, how, like, dresses could look shorter on her, but, like, just because of her size, I'm not saying that, like, I'm saying, like, girls, like, wearing clothes that, like, literally they don't fit in.
Well, no, I was getting to that later. What I was saying was that when I was a child, and, like, I was preteen and early teenagers, when I was told that the way my body looked, nothing that I could choose, but because I had breasts that stuck out farther than everybody else's, if I put on a dress that fit me, but because of my boobs, it came up higher because of gravity, I was being immodest and I was causing others to sin. And that I thought that because grown women in power who had influence over me and who I looked up to told me these things, that I was the problem and I shamed myself. And a lot of my body image issues that I had as a kid stem from the fact that I was told that I was sinning and causing others to sin because of things I couldn't control. So I started thinking that something's wrong with my body, and I started doing just thinking all of these horrible things about it. When we left that church and we went to the other church that we went to for a while, it was fine. Nobody gave a crap about what I wore. People wore spaghetti straps. I literally walked in the first day and this girl was wearing a cute little spring sundress with spaghetti straps, and I nearly shit. I was like, how dare she? And it was like this whole thing of a blame placing and a responsibility given to the correct, like, recipient of said responsibility that changed my mind about modesty in society, and how that church, the new church, didn't place its blame on me. They didn't come to me and say, you gotta not wear that. And they didn't go to the other girls in the youth group and say, you're drawing the attention of not only your youth group, but the adults in the room. You need to change. They went to the boys and they went to the men, and they had open conversations and open dialogue about placing the blame on who deserved it. And no, I wasn't, and that's the thing, it wasn't like I was going into church naked, or I was going into church in a swimsuit, or I was going into whatever, but it was not telling boys, don't look at a woman, don't like stare at a woman like she's a piece of meat. They were going to the women and cutting it that way, whereas this new church was going to the boys and the men and saying, don't do that, take it into your own, be a human being and don't look at her like that. And that's where I think society views modesty in a different ways, because we still have rape culture who asks the women what they're wearing and has this and that, when statistically it's proven that it doesn't matter what she's wearing, it doesn't matter what's happening. To your point about body type, there are things that you wear and Bailey can wear that if I wore would look different, and things would be immodest just because things would pop out.
Because we
like that
we have
bathing
things that are
suit
different sizes.
That you posted online on Instagram looks great on you, covers everything it should cover. Great job. If I wore it, there'd be a whole lot of mess, even in my size or a size up, there'd be a whole lot of mess out for the world to see that ain't nobody but me and a couple other people need to see. So I understand where you're coming from with body type, but I also don't ever want to dictate if somebody feels comfortable enough to go into public in something, if somebody and there's like always, everybody's gonna talk about it, everybody's gonna see somebody in the street and be like, that was a bold choice. That was bold. But if somebody feels comfortable, they feel pretty, they feel whatever, going through what I went through, seeing somebody and being like, you know what, I wouldn't wear it, bold choice, but good on you for wearing it. Like, that type of approach. Just because, like, at least for me, and I know everybody's not like me and everybody doesn't have the same opinions about it or feelings about it, or some people literally don't give a shit. But at least for me, it's like, I'm my biggest critic, so if I put something on and I wear it out, it, like, trust me, I've put on 18 more outfits, and...
You did the best, you know.
I did the best I could, and if I put it on and went out in public, I think I look good. And that's how I view a lot of other people who are, like, wearing things that are questionable or, like, different or not the norm or, like, society would view that as wrong. It's like, you know what, they probably think they look hot. They probably think they look good. And, like, time and place is a thing. Like, Bailey was talking about funerals or a business meeting or a job interview.
Sorry, funerals was my only good example.
Yes, of course. But, like, walking around on a date, going for a date at the park, a music festival, a concert, a barbecue fest, a street fair, a farmer's market. I don't give a shit what you wear. Like, don't give a shit.
Some people, though, like, I've seen guys have judged me off of my outfit, and, like, in college, they, like, my freshman year of college, like, the pictures I posted, they accused me, they asked if I was a slut because of the clothes that I wore and posted on Instagram. Like, they just assumed that I was, like, hooking up with all of these dudes. None of the pictures were with dudes. Like, I mean, there was a few, but not a lot.
Right. But again, is that a problem with what you were wearing? Or is that a problem with society?
Society.
Yeah.
Because, like, I wasn't sleeping around. Like, I was just dressing that way because I wanted to.
Were these your friends that were joking, or were these actual people?
Actual people.
Well, fuck them.
They were, like, I mean, like, they're people I went to high school with. Like, I mean, they're friends of mine, but, like, not people that I talk to on the daily.
So they were being serious?
Well, good.
Yeah, they were being
serious. Stop talking to them.
Like, they told my brother that they thought I was a slut.
And see, that's what I was talking about, is, like, it's every body type, because Molly has a very athletic, fit, stereotypically or conventionally attractive body type. And then there's my body type that's not conventionally attractive. If I wore what Molly put on Facebook or Instagram, there would be people who said a lot of shit about me. And in my mind, and a lot of people who have comparable body types to me, we think the same thing. But even Molly gets it. So it's literally a societal standard of, it doesn't matter what women wear or what women put on their body. We're always going to be judged, and we're always going to be held to the standard of judgment that I don't think men face. I think some men face it, because if overweight or non-conventionally attractive men went with their shirt off to, like, a theme park or a water park, they would be judged too. But I think conventionally attractive males do not get judged near as harshly as even conventionally attractive females do. Because if Molly and Bailey posted a picture in the pool together, people would call them sluts, and people would say, you're only posting that to get attention and whatever. Yeah. But when a guy does it, they don't get that same reaction. When a masculine, muscular guy puts a picture with his shirt off on Instagram, he does not get the type of attention that girls do.
Right.
And that has something to do with
literally
modesty.
Don't matter. Like, if the idea is like, oh, you're showing a lot of skin and you must want all the guys to adore you, you're sleeping around, like, you can sleep with 100 guys in t-shirts and jeans. Like, that doesn't...
True.
Like...
Yeah.
The clothes may make the man, but they do not make the slut.
Go on.
Thank you. I was sitting here holding on to it.
Do you think religion is the only basis for modesty in society?
It's hard to... I don't think currently I would say no. It's hard. I'm trying to think of, like, historically
I would say
where
yes.
our society...
I feel like most people who, like, are modest are some type of religion. Follow some type of religion, I think. I mean, I can't think of a group of people that don't follow something that dress modestly.
See, all of the modesty talks and all of the like judgment about modesty has always stemmed for me from religious people, whether it's been like an outright confrontation with me about it, like to my face, or somebody said something to like my mom about like, because when I was a kid, finding swimsuits was really hard, and even when I left that like other church who wouldn't let us swim, we couldn't co-swim, we couldn't swim guys and girls together, regardless of what you were wearing in that church. But in my next church, we had pool parties all the time where the youth group would swim together, and the girls always had to wear modest swimsuits. So in my case, because they literally don't make modest swimsuits for people over size C, I had to wear a t-shirt, and like that makes it worse in my, like, now being 23, in my opinion, that's like literally outlining my curves with water, whereas my swimsuit was more modest than one I've worn in years. But the guys at that swim party were shirtless, but the girls had to be wearing t-shirts or very modest one pieces.
Yeah.
Do you think it's defined you in any way?
I definitely think it makes me more judgmental.
Yeah. Well, I think like from what you were saying earlier, all of that has a very strong basis in your childhood and what you were taught.
Yeah.
And mine has made me so much more, I think my strict, very conservative, very religious background has made me very more lenient and accepting, just like subconsciously to stick it to my old religious ways.
My parents weren't super big on like what I wore. Like my mom loves whenever I wear like booty shorts and a tank top. Like she thinks I look so cute.
Because you do.
But like if I'm wearing like a dress and heels, then she becomes concerned because my legs look a mile long and my dress looks super short on me.
Yeah, that's interesting why I thought of that earlier. Why are high heels less modest than flats?
Yeah, like, because I'm wearing like Converses and my cut-off blue jean shorts, and I was like, you look so cute. But like if I walk around in my like 6-inch wedges and a dress, she's like, you're
gravity too, or like I guess
there,
it's like forced perspective. I think it's forced perspective that it causes your legs to look longer and your whatever you're wearing to look shorter. Like, I mean, when I'm wearing a dress with flats and a dress with heels, I think it raises a little bit just because you're propped up. I think. I don't know.
Maybe I'm trying to think. Would it be longer on your legs though? Because like the back of your foot.
No,
definitely not. Okay.
But it might be just a forced perspective thing. But it was another one of those things that your at least in the church I used to go to, it was your altering your body's, like your calf muscles look better and your thighs look better and your butt looks better in heels. Like it's what heels were made for. But
that's why you couldn't wear heels?
Yeah, because it like drew the gaze to parts of your body.
Oh dang.
And normally you were
I was just thinking heels might have more of a like perception of being like fancy or like risque. So like
oh yeah, it was also
think
like
they're for people going out. Even
it's
if
also
you're
the
not
tendency for us to say
that.
Like a certain heel is like indicative of a stripper. Like stripper heel is a term.
Right, the stripper heel, yeah.
How literally how can a heel have a character trait? Like
right.
It's a shoe, but it's indicative of something that's societally classified as wrong and shameful. So if you tell women that, oh, you're wearing a stripper heel, they're not going to wear it anymore. Tell us your thoughts about modesty. DM us and tell us what you think is modest and if you agree with any of us.
I feel like we don't really have a wrap up for that. Somebody wrap it up for me.
I don't think there has to be. I don't think there is one. I think it's just society has...
I'll be okay with that.
Yeah, society and religion has dictated what we all think of as modest. Our own minds have dictated what we think about and what we'll continue to think about into our adulthood, and possibly what we pass on to our children.
Okay.
Learned.
Yeah, I
learned
agree. I think we're
behavior.
coming into a time where we're all supporting women and like trying to accept them as like trying not to, sexualize everything they do and wear. Like we're trying to teach
Yeah.
society that what we wear doesn't concern
Shouldn't
them.
dictate. Yeah. It shouldn't
Yeah.
dictate our worth or our value or our place in society just because of an article of clothing or lack thereof.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Our next topic, I hope, is a little bit more fun, a little bit more, funny. We're going to talk about our dating experiences and our different outlooks and insights on dating.
I don't know if I have very many insights, but
Well, none of us have that many insights, but
just in general, as a general podcast disclaimer.
we'll go ahead and give us your minimal insights.
The general idea of dates sounds fun. And my boyfriend and I, we do go out on dates, but generally we
Like
don't
you went
go
to
out
Tupelo
to
last
eat.
weekend, right?
Yeah, that's what I was saying. That was a date with my boyfriend. We went to the movies, we went to the mall, the sad Toys R Us. We don't typically go out to eat, which is what I feel like a common date is. We will go get food, but we will bring it back home. But honestly, I think we both would rather eat where we can also like watch TV instead of just eating and I guess talking. I mean, that sounds sad, but I think we both like.
No, I agree though. I'm the same way. Like,
I mean, we do talk while we're eating dinner, but like not just sitting down and having like a fancy meal. Like that kind of date, I could kind of care less about. I would rather us watch, we've been watching Westworld, Community, Handmaid's Tale. Like, I'd rather let us do that together than just let's go sit and eat somewhere.
Yeah, eating at a fancy place just sounds like a very stressful time to me.
It's like, oh, this is what we're supposed to do, so let's all get dressed up and find expensive food. But, like, I just want to chill and do what I want to do. And, him chill and him do what he wants to do.
See, me and Sam, we go out to eat a lot, but it's not to fancy places. Like, I don't like taking food to go. Like, I don't like taking food to go. So, like, I have a problem where I do think that things change flavor while in a to-go box. So.
Okay. Well, now that I'm
We
gonna
don't
let
need
you
to dive into, but
I'm gonna let you have it. I don't think you're right, but I'll let you have it.
Even from like Zaxby's. Like, I love some Zaxby's, but I swear to God, it tastes different when I take it home.
We don't have to go. We're not gonna go into it.
That's all I had to say about it. Anyways, so like when we go to Zaxby's, we normally go in, and when we go to like fast food, most of the time we go in, and like then we'll go to like Olive Garden sometimes, or we'll go to just like not nice restaurants. Like, I wear Nike shorts and a t-shirt. But we go and we talk and we have conversations, and like that has not really turned into a date for me. Like, that's not, in my opinion, like, it's a date. Yes. So we date, but it's not like a planned go out. It's a not a special occasion, but it's like a special night set aside, a date night. It didn't qualify as a date night because it wasn't like planned. It wasn't like special. Like, we went and celebrated our anniversary 2 weekends ago, and we went and we ate at Hattie B's, which is a new hot chicken place in Memphis, and then
They're building one in Atlanta. I passed that every day.
It's so good, you have to go. But we both really wanted to go there because we really like spicy chicken, and it was really good. And then we went to Dave & Buster's and spent like the night. And it was so fun. And like that to me is like date night, but we also go on like casual. I guess it's like casual dates and like date nights where it's like I got dressed up, but I put makeup on.
Yeah, define dates for me. Because like you said earlier before we were recording that like me and my boyfriend going out to eat and watching TV.
Well, yeah,
like,
I think you and William sitting at home eating, or like you going to the you go to the mall and the movies and like It's all dating. You're all dating because I can't say that like me and Sam go eat, but we go eat. You and William just happen to eat at home. It's the same thing. The same thing is happening. We're doing the same thing. So they're both classified as dates, but they're not like special occasion dates. I think it's more like casual dates. And I think there's on the other end, there's like special event or special occasion or date night or whatever, where you go out of your way to do something special, or like one of you pays, like he pays for dinner, or it's like a celebration of something. Like we're going on my graduation date in a couple weeks. I don't know where I'm going. It's a surprise, but that's happening. So that's like a special thing. And like,
and you love surprises.
I do love surprises.
Do you like surprises?
Love surprises.
I thought you didn't.
But like, I crave and like need dates every once in a while because I get very stagnant and bored just sitting doing nothing, whatever. So like every so often I like to be taken out, and like I like to put on makeup and get dressed up and go do something special because we live right near Memphis and we have all of these things to do, but we like we aren't making that much money right now. We both live with our parents. We're trying to save money, so we don't like to do that like every week or so. But every once in a while, I do like going out, having a special event date. But then we go out to eat all the time, so it's like we're still dating.
Yeah, Molly.
I have anytime like a guy asks me out, which is few and far between.
Okay, you don't have to qualify it.
I always suggest going to go get coffee, just because, like, I never want to go eat for a first date. That's for sure. Like, some people like that because it's a good, like, filler. If you run out of things to say, you can just start eating. But like, if the conversation goes really well, I won't eat. Like, I am the slowest eater when I'm talking because I just, like, everybody hates eating lunch with me because I just eat. I take forever because I'm talking the whole time. And it's just like, I don't know. Like, I think eating in front of somebody you don't know very well is awkward. It's not that I won't do it. We've, like, made a point the past few episodes that I don't like eating in front of new people. But it's not that I'm uncomfortable eating in front of new people. It's just that I'm not hungry in front of new people. But
that's a different thing.
Exactly. But I don't know. It's just awkward to me to eat in front of somebody that you don't know very well. And I'm a messy eater, but that's besides the point. So yeah, I just don't, like, I don't see the point in going out on planned dates. It's like, oh, let's just hang out, whatever we decide to do, we decide to do. Like, the little things is what I enjoy doing. Like, going grocery shopping together is,
see, that's cute.
At midnight?
Yeah, like, that's something I would enjoy doing. Yes, Bailey?
So let's not get hypothetical.
Okay.
Let's bring it back to the real world. You have talked recently about a younger man in your life. Would you say that you two have been on dates besides going to Walmart at midnight? That is not a date, Molly Morrow. That was just you wanted to get out of the house.
It can be a date. I go on grocery dates.
It could be. In this situation, I don't think it was.
No.
But do you think you and this boy have been on dates, and what were they?
If we have, they were our coffee dates before I go back to Atlanta.
Okay.
We've gone to go get coffee together.
You've watched movies together, right? Before you went to Walmart at midnight?
We did watch a movie together, but I don't really count that as a date. I just count that as us hanging out.
That's the same thing that I was talking about with Bailey, though. It's casual.
Yeah.
Like, I would say it's hard to, like, define, because at this stage, Molly and this guy are, like, you're literally dating. So every time you hang out hasn't been defined as in a relationship. So you're literally dating. Like, that's what this stage of the relationship is. And then when you define the relationship, then you're actually in a relationship. Then it gets foggy because it's like, does every time we hang out classify as a date? Because, like, that's what I was trying to think about with me and Sam. Because it's like we hang out all the time. So it's like, is every time we hang out casual dating? Because we're not dating anymore. But I would classify, like, I don't know. Like me, we go out to eat all the time, and that's a date. Like we're literally sitting there facing each other, talking about our days, talking about our different things. That's what people do on dates. If you're doing what people do on dates, you date, right?
Mostly, but I think both people have to know it's a date because Molly insists that this one time before my boyfriend and I were officially dating,
it was a date.
Before we were officially dating, I asked him to go to the movies because I wanted to hang out. I did not ask him as a date. He did not know that it was a date. I did not think of it as a date, but Molly says it's a date.
Did you pay?
And I think Molly is wrong. No, we paid for our own things.
Why does paying for something count as a date?
Normally that's like the defining factor is that if somebody pays, then they were asking you because they were interested in you. Like I wouldn't ask Molly to go to the movies and then pay for her unless like she was poor or like she didn't have money, she forgot a credit card.
She needed to bum a ticket.
Because if it was switched around and he had asked you and then he had paid, everybody would say it was a date. Yeah. And we can't be like, if Bailey paid, it wouldn't have been a date because she's the girl in the relationship because equality. But
but we
you didn't. That. Were you interested in him?
Yes.
I'm gonna say it was a pre-date without his knowledge.
I'll accept that.
Poor William went unknowingly on a pre-date.
Well, I think he probably knew it was. I think he would also have liked it to be a pre-date.
Oh, okay. Then you could just ask him and we could figure this out. Because if he wanted it to be a date and you wanted it to be a date, then it was a date.
Well, I don't know. I don't think you can decide after the fact if something is a date.
I think you can't. If both parties wanted it to be a date, they were just too nervous to ask each other, then yes, it was a date.
Okay.
What would you classify, I'm going to ask both of you, what would you classify you and William's first date as? Like before this whole conversation and before you, like I had interrupted your thought process with casual dating, what would your first date be?
Yeah, I know, because you said it was the first time we hung out in my apartment.
Like knowingly, like accepting the fact that you both liked each other and this was like the start of a relationship. There was interest.
Oh, okay. About a few weeks to a month into our relationship, we went to Tuscaloosa to go see Newsies when it was playing in the movie theater. He probably paid for me, but I don't remember. But it was an outing where I was like, "Hey, I want you to go to this thing with me," and we did.
I'll take that.
So probably that.
Molly. Well, can we say his name yet?
No.
Okay.
Probably not.
I didn't think so.
I wouldn't. But we can make up a name. I would love to make up a name for him.
David.
Jake. Dave.
Both YouTubers.
Javid.
David?
A good guy.
Yeah,
Javid. Anyways.
I love Javid.
When would you say you and Javid's first date was? Where you knowingly had feelings for each other, wanted there to be like a sort of relationship, possibly held hands.
I guess
may have kissed or made out.
May have. If you're already at the stage of kissing or making out, that's a date.
What?
Nothing. Go ahead, Molly.
I guess it was the last time I went back home.
When you went like 2 weeks ago?
Yeah.
That wasn't your first date. Hey.
What are you guys referring to?
You had already made out with him by that point. You're saying your first date was after you made out with somebody?
Yeah.
I need to hear your logic. I need evidence.
I make out with dudes I don't have feelings for all the time.
That's true. She does.
That is some solid evidence if I've ever heard any.
Let me just say that was an exaggeration. Not all the time. That I have made out with dudes in the past that I didn't have feelings for.
You know what? I'm going to give it to you because I can't really argue with the logic. So.
Well, no, I don't think that's your first date. What about all those times you had coffee together that you just were talking about?
You guys didn't even let me say what my first date was. Y'all just jumped down my throat and said it wasn't.
You're already wrong.
It was whenever we went to his friend's cabin together. It was kind of like it was a lot of couples that were going. So whenever he invited me, I was like, oh, this is for real. I'm about to meet his best friends.
See, I'll give you that. After seeing the evidence, I'll give her that.
I would say that was probably our first like date or whatever. I don't know. I mean, I don't count coffee dates as. I just said
Yeah.
I was
it.
gonna say I don't accept the evidence because you told us evidence earlier that you're ignoring right now. You
I
said you
know.
counted coffee as dates.
Well, like us going on, us going to go get coffees at the end of the weekend. So it's like after we've hung out. So it's like the closing date. It's like the end of the weekend is whenever we go get coffee together.
But I don't think that makes it any less of a date.
I don't know. I just don't count that as my first date
Okay.
with him.
All right.
All right.
Cause like even that first time we hung out together, like when I first went home, like okay, I have never gone home to see him specifically. I have gone home for other things. I will give you examples. The first weekend I went home, I had frisbee tryouts, and
I think you may have had other things to do, but I think in your heart you also wanted to see him.
well, no, yeah,
So
no,
I
I
don't-
totally did. Like whenever we made the like whenever he told me he wanted to see me again, I said I'll be home for frisbee at the end of the month. Like we can hang out then. And then whenever I left after that first weekend, we like hadn't really like said our feelings for each other. Well, no, we had, but like
What was the weekend when you did watch the movie together and then go to Walmart at midnight, and then the next night y'all hung out with some friends?
that was the first time I went home to hang out with him.
Okay, would you not count any of that as a date?
Kinda, because we did go to a party later. I kind of
the party was what I meant as the
I
next
kind of
night.
put together like us going on an outing together, like as a date.
Yeah.
Because like we're making our appearance like publicly together, so like people are going to like we weren't like on opposite sides of the room talking to the people we were staying next to each
y'all were
other.
together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I like that.
So was the party a date or not? And this I'm just
No.
asking for like definition wise. Like,
I don't think it
because we've been
was.
talking about
Like
why
in my
not?
mind, it wasn't a date. Really, nothing we've done has been a date in my mind.
Right. That's why I don't trust your feelings because I think you downplay a lot of what you two have done.
Yeah.
Um,
You're definitely downplaying.
Oh, I
what-
do. Like
what
he
qualifies
probably
as a
thinks
date.
we're in a relationship, and I have no idea.
well, that's a different topic for a different
Poor
night. Can we
Javid.
talk about that next week?
We can discuss it.
Okay. Let's get Javid on the podcast. Let's get
Oh,
Oh, let's not.
Sam, William, and Javid.
Sam, William, and Javid.
But
My first
yeah,
date with Sam. We're leaving Molly
Uh-huh.
in her dateless life.
Bye.
We went. I had said, see, because we had also hung out previously before we didn't start. Our first date was on Valentine's Day. We had been talking since January,
Yeah.
and we didn't start dating until May. So
Yeah.
there's a timeline for you. We started talking in January. We had hung out plenty by ourselves, alone, and like, I guess we had never gone into public, but I know that we had been like, we had like watched movies and shows at my house. But on Valentine's Day, I had sent him a picture or said something about wanting to go to Starbucks because they were doing that 2-for-1 thing on Valentine's Day. Like if you bought a coffee, they would give you a second one if you had your like Valentine's Day date. And
Yeah.
he texted me and he said, "Hey, do you still want to do that?" And I said, "Yeah." And so we did that, and he also bought me like a cake pop or something. And then
Oh, cute.
when we got in his car after that, he gave me a stuffed animal and a box of chocolates. I think
Adorable.
it was really cute, and I was like really surprised because I didn't think we were there yet because we weren't progressing quickly at all. And so it was like really nice. And so that happened. And then we went to the airport and we watched the planes take off and land, which was cool because that was like something.
Oh, I didn't realize y'all did that so early.
Yeah. He's really interested in airplanes and stuff. And so we did that, which is really cool because then he got to show me tell me everything about airplanes and like show one of his greatest interests, which was really cool.
Yeah.
And then we drove around Hernando, like in the back roads of and I don't know, we just got to talk and like be together, and it was really nice. And it was a really, really good first date.
Good.
But yeah, that was our first date. It was nice. And it was like plain and simple, our first date.
Yeah.
Unless we're going to count us hanging out and watching Gossip Girl a first date.
Well, now you've presented new evidence.
I'm very sorry. But yeah, it was a good first date. First dates are fun. Dating is fun. And also confusing, apparently.
Mm-hmm.
They are confusing.
On different levels. Who knows if you're actually dating someone or not? If you have the answers, or if you have any opinions about when or where our first date were, please write to us and tell us.
Yeah, if you think I'm in a
Write
relationship,
letter.
let me know.
If the vast majority
okay.
of people think Molly's in a relationship, please let her know, because that will just blow her mind.
Do I get
we
to make
could
a
have
Twitter
a wedding
poll?
next
Do
week.
I get to make a Twitter poll?
You could probably make it after this episode goes out, because I think by then they would have heard enough about it.
Enough evidence? Okay, yeah.
Make a poll.
I'm going to make a Twitter poll.
Got to get Javid on it.
Thankfully,
Javid.
he
Javid have a
does
Twitter?
not like social media.
He doesn't have a Twitter? He doesn't have social media?
Javid. He has
All he has is
Facebook.
Facebook and Snapchat, and he hates both of them.
That
Hey,
kills
you know,
me.
you could be dating Javid by the time this episode goes live.
He's coming this
You
weekend,
bet.
isn't he?
Almost 2 weeks.
I'm going to see him this weekend.
When's he
This
coming?
is actually the first
Ew.
time I'm going home specifically to see
When's he
him.
coming to see you?
Ew.
Because I have something going on in Atlanta, so if I end up staying here, then I have to do it. So,
Gross.
I feel guilty about not doing it, so I'm just gonna go home.
Nice.
I might make him come up the next weekend though,
All right.
which will be weird because we always go like a month without seeing each other. So seeing each other back to back weekends is gonna be new.
But that's a story for after the podcast.
All right. Well,
True.
thank you all for listening so intently to all of our stories and our ramblings about modesty and
You're welcome.
dating and
You're welcome.
whatever happened at the first 10 minutes of this podcast. Thank you for sticking with us.
Gosh,
Please send us your opinions or your questions to our email, ourthreecentspod, the word 3, at gmail.com. DM us or tweet at us or answer our Twitter polls on Twitter at ourthreecentspod, the number 3. Yeah, we really want to hear from you guys. Ask us questions, send us some more topics that you'd like to hear from. We have a whole list, but we'd always love more. As always, this has been Our 3 Cents. I'm Laura.
And I'm Molly.
I'm Bailey.
Okay, bye.
We heard you. Bye.
Bye. Say bye.